It's such a beautiful day here in Sydney. I'm in Pyrmont, and I've come up here for an appointment that I've just finished. But I'm sitting outside of Sydney, and I had a Portuguese tart, which I never do. One of those egg tarts, you know. It's a really balmy day. I'm on Harris Street in Pyrmont. But later on, I have to go to Bondi Junction because I've got to go and have a scan on my thyroid. It's just a follow-up. I have a growth on my thyroid, or I had two. The one that was of concern was biopsied last year and was benign, but it's required clinically for me to have a follow-up just to track it, see if it's growing, that kind of thing. It doesn't seem to be affecting me in any way, and it's completely fine. I can't feel it. And tomorrow also I have to actually get a blood test, which is just the regular blood test that people get. By the way, if you don't get blood tests, you should get one once a year. So this helps to track for anything that may be going on for you, whether you know it or not. It's just part of basic health. I think one issue that comes up for me with health is that I've always had a sort of consciousness about it because I have a chronic illness known as asthma. From childhood I developed this. I believe also it's a family trait on both sides. I know that my uncle Peter had asthma, although I believe he outgrew it. Not so for me, but I have it completely under control. But the thing is that when you live with a chronic ailment, you have to have a relationship with a GP. So that might be diabetes, that might be asthma, it could be arthritis, it could be anything that's chronic and that requires follow-up. For those of you that are lucky enough never to have had such a thing in your lives, you probably think that a GP is just for when you have an accident or you feel dizzy or something just comes up, which, you know, of course, that's what GPs do. But having a regular relationship with your GP, consulting, sorry, I feel like I've got hair in my face. Consulting, when you have a chronic illness like asthma, you need to take medication. And the doctor-patient relationship is there because you get repeats for your medication, and then when that runs out, you have to go back. So there's a purposefulness behind that, and that is to maintain you in the patient-doctor loop. People who don't have the necessity, seemingly, don't have a relationship in such a way with a GP. But GPs are really important, especially as you get older. Good to check in, have things like your basic physical, have a blood test once a year, track those things. Doesn't mean running to the doctor about anything and everything, but it does mean taking control of your health. So that's the lesson that one learns when one has lived with a chronic illness since childhood. It's being familiar with that relationship, having that relationship, building that relationship, having someone you can trust. So I have a really good GP in Bondi Junction by the name of Peter Vo. He's very amiable, he's very approachable, and he will talk about any concerns that you have. Right now I have a sore deltoid muscle, which is probably the result of crouching over looking at my laptop. It's happened before, it tends to subside, but that would be an example if it persisted that I would get him to look at it. So I do encourage you at any point, if you're having any issues, to contact a GP. Establish, especially if you're men, because men don't always approach their health this way, that you actually have, that's a bus, welcome to urban Sydney, that you maintain a relationship with a GP, that you actually get in touch and you take charge of your health. Anyway, wishing everyone well.